Alright, what's up, brothers? Hopefully the audio is good right now. You see that? I've seen people on the internet do this shit, you know? It's kind of cool. I can just, like, what's up, motherfucker? You know, this would be a really good way to go into public. Like, have your hat sideways with the mic straight forward and just be like, alright, so tell us what you think about X, Y, and Z. And then put the shit in their face so they can talk. Just make people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, so I just left the gym. It's a great day. You can see it's a nice sunny day. And I really hope that everyone's having a good time. I want to talk about how great, semen retention is in general. Just, it's the greatest thing I've discovered for self-improvement. It's better than meditation. It's better than running. It's better than working out. It's better than eating healthy. It's better than yoga. It's better than stretching. It's better than the sauna. It's better than everything. And that's because God made it, and God made you, and God made you whole, so you don't need other things to feel good, right? To be vibing. It's all within you. You don't need other things. This is why, out of all the things I named, like self-improvement stuff, meditation is the second one. Meditation is the second most important one. And I think semen retention is like that because it's just like a return to normal, a return to homeostasis. You know, if you've got a P-word addiction, if you've got a hub addiction, you know, you're real off. Like you're off kilter of your masculinity, of the way that your mind operates, of your level of sexuality. Your nervous system is kind of whacked out. You know, just that extra stimulation just kind of whacks you out for a little bit, right? It's not right. It's not right. It's like if y'all have ever done the white stuff, like, you know, you might be up all night. You might not be able to go to sleep because you're just a little whacked out for a while. And that's what the P word will do. If you're just out here getting laid, you're probably not watching these videos. I got to semen retention because I was a sex addict. I was told that's what I was supposed to do. And hey, I came out the womb sexy. And so getting girls has always been easy for me. And, I was thinking, driving over here from the gym, if you're not a good looking guy, you really, really got to retain. Because as a man, it's important for our self perception, our like confidence, the way we feel about ourselves, the way we view ourselves, everything. A big factor of that, whether you want to admit it or not, is if females find you attractive or not. Okay? So if females don't find you attractive, it's putting you in a lower status position, which you're going to have anxiety, you're going to get depressed, all this different stuff. And look, I'm good looking, so I've always gotten attention from women. Women have always been relatively easy for me. If you're not good looking, right, you don't get that benefit. So if you're gooning, if you're probably not getting laid a lot, right? So you're probably gooning. And if you're doing that, you're making it worse. You're making your self-confidence worse. That's the main thing, is your self-confidence. You're making that way fucking worse by doing this thing because no girls are finding you attractive. All right? I went to the YMCA today to hit the sauna, and the girl up front flipped her hair and spoke softly to me when I walked in the door, asked her how she was doing. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought a new pair of gym shorts, and the girl checking me out at the register was a very young girl, and she was making tons of eye contact with me, for no reason. Just she's not saying anything. She's just looking up and looking at me and kind of like bouncing around. And she would like look at me and be like, you know, just like begging for me to talk to her. And then, oh, when I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, I saw a girl that I see at the gym, usually on Sunday, and I saw her last week. And I think I talked about it in my video, how she was like desperate for me to look at her. I saw her at the mall. When I was going to Dick's, I saw her at the mall. She didn't see me, but she has identifiable tattoos. There's another reason for you to not get tattoos. Look at this clean, non-tattooed body. You get tattoos and you become identifiable from behind in public. That happened because I saw a girl and I was like, maybe. Well, I looked and, no big deal. And then I was like, oh, I think I recognize her. And she was walking by this way and I saw her tattoos. I was like, that is her. And yeah, I saw her last week and stuff. So, things happen on semen retention. Weird things like that happen. Okay? I didn't see her at the gym today, which I usually do. But I saw a different girl at the gym today. And she looked at me and was looking real insecure. She was looking very, very insecure. She's probably going, well, she was just looking real sad and insecure. And that's like what happens on semen retention. Girls that are bad girls that have been hoes and stuff aren't into you. Like, they don't feel on your level. And most dudes are not struggling with that issue when it comes to dating. Most dudes are not struggling with the issue of there's not good options. Most dudes are struggling from the issue of I've got no options. Right? That's your average man, your average male existing. That's what's happening. Crying about hypergamy, complaining about women's nature, coming to understand their nature and get mad about it. Whatever. Doing all of that. None of that helps you. None of that improves your life. Right? Semen retention. And then getting, locking in. Locking in. You retain, bro. You start working out more. You start working out harder. And then you can pick something else up. You've got more work inside of you that you're not pushing out of yourself. You're not pushing it out of yourself. And semen retention gets you in a place where you're bored enough and you're competitive enough and you get pissed off that you just push. Things start happening. You're just like, okay, this way, right? It doesn't really matter. And, I feel bad. I really feel bad for a lot of guys. I see the way they look at me in the gym. They're dead. They're dead inside. And the windows to their soul is gone. And these girls that are, I talked about the girl at Dick's Sporting Goods. She was young. Like, she could have been, I don't know what she could have been. She could have been any age, bro. She could have been 16. She could have been 20. There's no way to tell, right? I'm 30 years old at this point. I can't fucking tell. And she was looking good. So, she made eye contact with me. So did the girl at the YMCA. And they were the two younger girls. Of the four girls I've talked about, they're the young ones. So these older ones, and I asked, they don't feel worthy. Sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. They don't feel worthy of a relationship because they've been hoes. And it's hit their biology. It's hit their biology and their emotions on a level that they can't even understand, right? They're behind dead eyes too. You look at them in their eyes and they're dead as well. Just like the men who are gooning. The difference is for a girl, like it's gonna take longer for her to recover. It's harder for her to recover from this, from what she's done. That's just a fact of reality. Men, guess what? We're lucky. We got it good. We can recover quickly from what we've done. You always have energy to recover. The younger you are, the better. The younger you are, the better. Okay? So the girls that are good girls that feel worthy of a good man, because you're gonna be a better man, you should never be going out with a woman that likes you when you're not retaining, because she is bad news for you, bad news for your life. You're just being held down and drugged down. If she likes you in your drained state of being dead, and she likes you in that state, bro, she's holding you down through your sexuality. She's keeping you right here so she can break up with you and leave you later. All the time, bro, that's what happens to dudes. And they're not just sexually disciplined. You have to be sexually disciplined before you even get around the girls. But the girls that do it yourself, y'all got coworkers, y'all got girls you see at the grocery store, girls you see at the gym, girls wherever you are, retain for 30 days and tell me that things don't start. Some of them they're gonna become more attracted to you, and then they're gonna get to the point where they're not attracted to you. They're gonna lose. No, they're still gonna be attracted to you, but they're just gonna know that they can't get you, right? You're gonna start making them feel extremely insecure, and they're gonna start avoiding eye contact with you. Okay, I asked a girl that I worked with in New York who was 23 years old. I was talking to her, and I just said something like, you need to just get fucking married. Or she was in this job, and it was very obvious she didn't give a fuck about it. And so I asked her, I was like, what are you doing here? Like, what is your purpose of this? Because it's very obvious you don't give a fuck about this job. And she was like, well, I'm just building my resume so I can go somewhere else in a little bit, and da 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 da. And I said, why don't you just get married? And we talked for a little bit about it, and she got insecure. I could feel it. I could tell that she got insecure when I said that. Why don't you just get married? And so then I asked her, because she was a cool girl, I was able to have a normal conversation and ask her this question. She had a brother that was 28 who told her that her being 23 meant she was at the end of her peak. Like, she was going to start going down. That's what her brother told her. And so I asked her, I was like, why do girls get insecure when that's brought up, when they're told to get married and have a family? She said, a lot of them don't feel loved. That was her answer, that the girls don't feel loved. But that would make them sad, not insecure. Okay? So I dance around it for a little bit. I dance around so I can get out what I'm looking for. And I ask her, what about, like, why do they feel insecure? Is it because they don't feel worthy of a relationship? Something like that. And she says yes. She's like, yeah, there's that too. Like, they don't feel loved is the first thing she said. And then she said they don't feel worthy of a relationship, which is why they get insecure. They get sad because they don't feel loved, but they get insecure because they don't feel worthy. Okay? And y'all have to understand the way the girls have been recently, the way that they act, their hypergamy that everyone loves to complain about is part of that reason. They haven't been pure. And once they've racked up 5, 10 bodies, they start losing confidence. They start going down, and they start being like, oh, uh, and then when they're around a good guy that they actually are genuinely attracted to for, you know, every reason, they want a long-term relationship with him and they want to sleep with him, they can't get that dude. Right? They're not on the same wavelength or the same vibe to where they can get that dude. All right, I had some people come up, so I might be, well, I'm going to bring it back as best I can. So, the girls that I saw today that I interacted with, the two young ones, make eye contact and speak to me. Have a great conversation. Well, whatever. But, they make eye contact. And then the two girls that I see that are the gym girls, they avoid eye contact when I'm close. But from a distance, they will fucking stare me down. They will watch me for like 10 seconds straight, staring me down as I just do what I do. So, the thing about, like, a good girl, a young girl, a lot of times it's a young girl who will look at you up close and will not have as many bodies. So she'll be a little more okay with everything. She'll be a little more what you're looking for. It's the older girl with more bodies that when you get close to each other, she avoids eye contact because she is nervous because she's like a dude who's been gooning, right? Like she slept with all these different dudes, and so now she's got the same kind of vibe as a dude who's been gooning. So semen retention, it cuts through that bullshit. Those types of girls, they get so insecure around you, they can't control themselves to act normal. They become just completely terrified of you because they know, the girls know that they're not worthy of you. That's all it comes down to. They know, they can feel. I want y'all to understand this and just how, like, bruh, we've been raised to worship women. And when you retain, you are the prize. And you realize it so much that you're the prize that the girls know it. And so it becomes a filter for whores. You're able to filter whores that are over sexualized, lustful women. You're able to filter them out of your life almost without speaking to them. I guarantee, I could approach these two girls that I see at the gym and they would both be hoes or former hoes. I guarantee it. It's so damn true, guys. I don't even need to do it. Maybe I need to do it to prove it to y'all that what I'm saying is fucking right. But a good girl isn't gonna be nervous around you. She's not gonna be like, she's gonna be a little bit nervous, but she's gonna be able to control herself. When I went out with this 18-year-old last year, she was this way. I could tell that she was intensely nervous around me, but she could control it. She wasn't like, she would still look at me in my eyes, and she wasn't as fidgety as a normal girl. She just had like little things about her that, like, facial expressions and the way she would move her head and stuff, I could tell, like, oh, she's nervous. And I just couldn't pick up on it at first, right? She still knew how to act normal. Now, and this is possibly because she was from Ukraine, because I met another girl that was from somewhere over there that was like some Eastern European girl, and she was the same kind of way. She would get real nervous around me, and I worked with this girl, and but she wouldn't show it. Her body language she didn't get fidgety and spazzy like an American woman. She was just calm, chill. She had the ability, both of them had the ability to calm themselves down. And, you know, not every girl has that ability to calm herself down. So retaining is, that's why it's the good news. That's why it's such a good thing. Because I'm coming here and I'm like, there's guys that never have girls check them out. They're completely invisible to the opposite sex. And I can imagine how enraging that would be. And it's not like I haven't been there. It's not like I haven't been a loser. But I look how I look. So I get a little escape from me being having been a loser in my life before, where I just didn't feel good about my position in life and I felt like a loser. That, like, on top of not being attractive, zero girls. Zero girls. And that's not good for a man's mental health. It's not good for a female's mental health to not get male attention. We know this. We know this. So now we're at a point where, like, social media has opened things up, so hypergamy in females is out of control. Okay, it's completely out of control. The girls have lost self-control. And so guys, most guys, let's tell the truth here, most men are getting wrecked. They're not having good interactions with females on a regular basis. Man, could you imagine going a whole 30 days without one female glancing at you like she is into you? Like she finds you physically attractive? Brother, could you imagine? That would be so shitty. And there's guys out here living that life, coping with the hub. And I'm here to tell you, if you just make the sacrifice and just do the thing, life becomes a lot more fun on retention, and women start looking at you, because masculinity is the greatest way to attract a woman. Is masculinity. Because she's femininity. And semen retention is your natural masculinity from God. Just put inside of you, that's always producing and always working more. And if you work harder, if you push yourself more, if you exercise more, you get more masculinity. Because your body's meant to move. It's meant to be strong and have muscles. And so if you use your masculinity to move your masculinity, you get more masculinity. Holy shit. What a crazy concept. And you get more femininity in turn. Right? You just win. The whole world that you see every single day, everything is feminine, bro. Everything is feminine. Everything is chaotic. It's men that bring the masculinity in. You get to penetrate your whole day. Everywhere you go, you get to penetrate this space with a masculine aura, with a blue aura. You get to penetrate the space that you're in. You get to penetrate the interaction that you have, penetrate the workout, right? Why would you not? I understand you have an addiction to women. I get it. I still think about sex every single day. And I have to take my mind and go over here. When I start thinking about sex, when I catch myself thinking about it, I have to take my mind and go over here. Right? Put my focus on this over here. Because this is what I want. This is more important. When you learn that sexual discipline, your whole life becomes more fun. Everything gets better and more engaging, and you start to penetrate the day. And when you start penetrating your days, you want to penetrate women less. You actually get to a point to where you're having so much fun and you're enjoying yourself so much just penetrating the day that you don't want to sacrifice sex for that. That feeling becomes so good. But that's only on long-term retention. Straight up. You're not going to get to that point to where you're feeling so fucking good you don't ever want to go back. So, most guys are getting zero girls, bro, and that fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. I can't imagine just how shitty that life would be. I'm 30 years old. I just moved back home with my mommy because my daddy died and I have no job, right? That's how I think about it because it fucking sucks. I feel like a fucking loser right now. But at least I know that I'm attractive to females, so I can win social interactions. I can penetrate my day a little bit more, and I get girls to stroke my ego, to pat me on the back. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel good. That makes me want to do more, right? When you have the support of a female as a man, that shit feels good, dude. That shit feels good when you have her support and she's nice to you. And there's so many dudes out here that are just not getting that when they're checking out at Starbucks. Because I'm telling y'all right now, if you're an average dude, you have to understand you're right in line on physical attractiveness with most women. Most women are average. And oh, they're delusional. Oh, they're delusional. Hypergamy. Go ahead and retain for 30 days and come back and tell me that same thing. You're not even going to say that. You're going to be like, dude, girls that I've never been able to get, that have always been out of my league, were looking at me like they kind of wanted me. Right? You're going to be like, what the fuck? That becomes obsolete. All the female nature things and the current dating market and stuff, all that shit goes away. The only thing that stays is your options for a long-term female for wife, right? For kids, for reproduction. If you want 2 or 3 of those, that's fine. Those options have dwindled because girls have been hoes. And once a girl's been a hoe, she doesn't love as well, right? We all know this. So, but guess what? You have a natural built-in filter from God that is your sperm, right? This is the good news. Jesus said to spread the good news, brother. I'm here. The good news is here. All right, gentlemen. So like the video, comment what you think, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.